Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Breaking news for Palantir Technologies as they have established a new critical partnership with a major defense contractor, L3 Harris. We're going to be talking about this, some of the remarks that we got from Alex Karp, some statements, everything you need to know regarding this very, very bullish partnership. On top of that, we have Jim Cramer coming out with more bullish statements on Palantir. He's really been on a run lately. I have this funny clip to share with you guys that really made my day and made me giggle. So we're going to be breaking that down, talking about everything you need to know, earnings coming up. On top of this, Palantir is looking good in the after hours right now, actually up with a very red day in the market as treasury yields are continuing to rise. And this is causing a little bit of uncertainty in the market. We see that with a little bit of a pullback on the broader indexes. So before we get too far, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, not a financial advisor, collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, pop it up right here. Here is the official post from L3 Harris on X talking about integrating their technologies with Palantir's AI platform, creating a smarter, more effective system that can transform raw data into actionable intelligence faster than ever before. And specifically, what you need to know about this, accelerating advanced technology development. That is the goal for this partnership. And they are combining L3 Harris's sensors and software-defined systems with Palantir's AIP platform. Now, L3 Harris's sensors and systems here, expanding, are working to improve the U.S. Department of Defense's Joint All-Domain Network. And what Alex Carr specifically comes out here to say that Palantir exists to support the West's most important institutions. They're partnering with L3 Harris to ensure that the U.S. and its allies combine the West's two greatest assets, AI dominance and cutting-edge hardware on the battlefield. Saying that right here. So working to improve the defense systems in the West. And this collaboration on U.S. Army programs and development works to be very bullish because we know that Palantir has been very concrete with those governmental contracts, and we're seeing expansion of this right here, right before our eyes. So great to see there, another milestone achieved by Palantir. Now, let's talk about the clip that we got here from Jim Cramer talking about Palantir on his opinion on it.
Let's go to Brad in Illinois. Brad.
Hi, Jim. I wanted to have a quick question about Palantir Technologies. It has doubled in value since I originally bought it, but its price-to-earnings ratio is over 250. So I'm wondering, should I cash out while the going's good, or should I continue to hold?
Okay, this is a phenomena stock, not unlike GameStop, except there's obviously a better company, GameStop, and it's profitable. There is no level that the buyers won't take this stock higher. So I'm going to tell you that I would hold on to it as a spec and let them walk it up. I think the buyers want this to be the best performing stock in the S&P 500. I am not kidding. I think that is their goal, and I think they will accomplish that. Let's go to Will and Connect. Let's go to.
I think the buyers want this to be the best S&P of the best stock in the S&P 500 right here. And talking about Palantir Mafia coming out here, talking about one man who can destroy everything Palantir's accomplished. And that was a great caption, especially for those that believe in the reverse Cramer theory, and especially with what we've seen recently from his statements. Bullish on Palantir. That's where Cramer's been coming out. We know he has multiple different opinions that do sway a lot, pretty more, of an entertaining type show. But nonetheless, we do know price to earnings is pretty high. Valuation has been pretty disconnected from Palantir's price movements. Talking about here, Cramer's just telling people to ride the ride, and I can see why he's saying that. That's not a bad position right now for people to ride the ride, especially for getting in at these kind of record highs. There's a lot of risk for downside potential. A lot of people are up. Mostly everybody's up on Palantir right now. And the fact that we're seeing bullishness in the after hours, especially with a really red market, we'll be going over that in just a few moments here. But closing at 42.59 with trading volumes that are still actually kind of slightly below the 3-month average. This isn't necessarily bad. Just shows a kind of general cooling off, not just for AI stocks, but in the broader market in general. Looking at the options, we do have a lot of call activity at the 43, 43.5, 44 compared to the puts. A lot of calls on the recent. Now, this is for end of the week expirations, trying to trade off the short term here. This could be bullish, especially with the L3 Harris partnership now for Palantir coming up here in the near future. Could we be seeing 45 on the table? Possibly. Could we be seeing surpassing the all-time high? And the reason I want to talk about that is because now we have this bullish partnership, right? You couple that with earnings that's going to be coming up here November 4th post-market. Earnings per share coming in at 9 cents. That is what the estimation is from the street. And the revisions that we've seen, earnings per share revisions, 11 in the bullish direction in the last 90 days. This is looking pretty well for Palantir. I think if we have, of course, increased volatility, getting closer to earnings seasons, that's expected. But with this partnership, if we see any change in momentum in the markets, that's where I think we could possibly see Palantir continuing to push to those record highs. Like Cramer said, the buyers are wanting to push this up even higher. But let's talk about the red day in the market and why this could put a whole swing in things. And then you got the S&P 500 down about 1%, NASDAQ down about 1.6%. We're seeing a 3-day losing streak, and people are saying, what is going on? Because we've seen winning streaks that have really been on a rally recently. And sorry, I thought maybe that I had audio playing in the background, but I don't. But talking about what we've seen on the rally recently has been very lucrative. We've seen momentum that has really been pushing a lot of these stocks to higher highs. The broader market to higher highs, hitting a record close last Friday. We're seeing a little bit of the change in that as we see a reverse as pressure really has increased from rising treasury yields. Now, these higher yields, the reason why we're starting to see a little pullback in the market is that this can make investors less willing to pay for the high prices for stocks right now. Because if you kind of have guaranteed interest rates, if you think we're going to see a little bit of a pullback here, especially with an election coming up, the volatility, people could take advantage of these higher T-bills, not really willing to pay for the high price on stocks right now. Critics are saying already look too expensive after they rose faster than corporate profits. Now, we're also seeing some of the big stocks that are taking a jab right now. This is McDonald's. Getting E. coli in their food. What? Helped pull the market down as they dropped 5.1% after federal health officials linked the quarter pounder burgers with an E. coli breakout that's affected at least 49 people in 10 states. They stopped using fresh slivered onions and quarter pounder beef patties until the investigation will come to a conclusion. Serious things going on at McDonald's. Watch what you eat there. Now, let's talk about Coca-Cola. Fell 2.1% too. You're seeing some of these big stocks are bringing down the market a little bit here. They do have a heavy weight. They reported stronger profit and revenue. However, one of the main concerns, though, is how much the company actually shipped during the quarter, and that fell short of some estimates. Boeing also, which has been experiencing some issues, slipped 1.8%. This could be one of the most consequential days in the year for a troubled aerospace manufacturer. So on top of these things, also correlated not just with the treasury yields, but what are we expecting in terms of inflationary numbers? We're seeing a lot of resilience in the economy. And what are we expecting in terms of interest rates? And that's for the next meeting, November 7th, I believe, is that when that concludes the Fed meeting. We're expecting another 25 basis point cut and even a total of another 50 basis point cut by the end of the year. However, remember, the Fed came out and made that statement that said that they are going to do whatever they need to do in order to remain cautious, keep inflation underneath control. If we saw for some reason we see any type of change in that type of hypothesis regarding about what investors are pricing in terms of interest rates right now, that's where we could see a lot of volatility, a lot of selling pressure. That's in my opinion. However, mostly they're largely expecting the Fed to cut its main interest rate by 0.5 percentage point through the end of the year. What's going on with NVIDIA? NVIDIA has been doing very well recently, holding also at all-time highs, doing a great job actually bringing up the general market. We've seen 143, a little bit of a pullback here, about 3%. You basically have the CEO, we already knew about this, that there was some delays in the Blackwell chips, the new AI chips that's what they're working on delaying shipments. He just kind of came out here, Jensen came out, the CEO, acknowledging basically that TSM, they assisted in resolving a design flaw in the latest Blackwell AI chips, and NVIDIA discovered the glitch after showcasing the chips in March, which led to a production delay. But this is kind of news that we already knew about, talking about hyperscaler customers like Meta, Alphabet, Google, blah, 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 blah. That's just a lot of media momentum, I think, being traded. That's why we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. But nonetheless, still very bullish on NVIDIA. That's all that I have for you guys. What do you guys think about Palantir? What's your opinion on that new partnership? Do you think 45 is on the table, depending on how the market's going to perform? And what's your opinion on Jim? I'd like to hear it all down in the comments. Peace out, take care, and thank you guys, everybody, for watching and your support. Have a wonderful night.